the death of Hulk Hogan. Tampa native, grew up. Terry Bollea went to Robinson High School, died yesterday at the age of 71. What we are hearing is that he suffered some kind of what they called a serious medical event at his home in Clearwater yesterday morning, and he was taken to Morton Plant, where he died at the age of 71 at 11:17 a.m. I believe he was pronounced dead. So
yeah, there were some rumors over the past couple of weeks that he was in poor health. There were some rumors that he was on his deathbed.
Yeah, that he was in a coma.
There was pushback to those rumors. We never talked about it on the show because it was nothing that we could verify.
Yeah, rumors.
But apparently he wasn't in good health. And look, this is somebody who, I mean, you know, it's a life of difficult physical activity with pro wrestling, and he openly admitted to using steroids for personal use and all of that. But he looked fine just a couple of months ago at the Republican National Convention. You know, he did that epic speech there for Trump. And more recently, though, there have been some pictures where he had looked a little bit more frail.
Yeah, a little bit more. And then it was not too long ago that he was at an event with DeSantis promoting his beer, and they were having a beer together.
Right. So there's so much about Hulk Hogan that I think is unique and legendary. You've got his look, the way he talked, you know, the ripping off of the shirt, the way he put his hand behind, you know, his ear to get the crowd louder.
All of it.
And then you've got this.
Brother.
I mean, just him saying that.
Brother. Yeah.
He debuted under names like the Super Destroyer. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I didn't know that.
And Terry Boulder.
Okay.
Before becoming Hulk Hogan, he was fired by Vince McMahon back in 1981 for taking the role, the legendary role, Thunder Lips in Rocky III.
I do remember that.
Without company approval. Then, of course, and smart move by Vince McMahon, he hired him back. He defeated the Iron Sheik in January of 1984 at Madison Square Garden. That's when he won his first WWF championship. It was the WWF back then. And then there was this iconic match, Hulk Hogan taking on Andre the Giant.
He's hulking up, Jess. I don't know if he's got enough left in him. That adrenaline can do wonders. We're seeing what this guy is really made of. What he is. The greatest professional athlete in the world today. Look at this.
He lifts him up over his head and slams him down.
I don't believe it. Oh, dropping a big leg. Over for the cover. It's over.
I mean, have you seen that video, Dana?
No.
You've got to look it up because it really, I mean, Andre the Giant was huge.
I believe he was
is,
7'4" and 520 pounds. They didn't call him Andre the Giant for nothing.
And Hogan lifts him up over, I mean, up to his head. It wasn't like over it, but he lifts him up and he
did.
Body slams him in just an amazing moment. And you were there.
I was there. WrestleMania III. This was March of 1987. I was working at WSPD in Toledo at the time, and my first wife, Ann, was the program director at FM 104 in Toledo, and we got tickets to the Pontiac Silverdome for WrestleMania III. We could kind of see the ring from where we were.
You could probably see Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan, though.
And I think what we remembered most, I was talking to Ann yesterday, as a matter of fact, was the crane that they had in place that lifted Hogan out of the ring and out of out of the arena. But yes, we did see him literal body slam Andre the Giant. It was the moment that transformed professional wrestling into prime time. It was a kind of a changing of the guard, if you will, because Andre the Giant had been such a figure in the pro wrestling world for so many years. And I think Andre realized that his body was starting to give out. And this is the way they choreographed it. But it was a 23-minute match. If you can think about, what it must have taken to do that after 23 minutes.
Yeah, because pro wrestling is scripted and all of that, I think sometimes these wrestlers don't get the credit they deserve as athletes. I mean, what they're doing is incredibly
Yeah, he lifted
difficult.
a guy that was much heavier and bigger than him.
Yeah, and just the pounding that they take on their body, not only doing those matches, but the training that leads up to them, it's an incredible feat. And when Hulk Hogan started to reach the height of his popularity, and wrestling did too, that's when I was in elementary school. So that was something that I got into, and I was a big Hulkamaniac.
Did you have the toys?
I had the toys. He was my favorite.
And
I
the
remember.
ring.
Yeah,
my brother had all that stuff.
You had Hulk Hogan. You had Macho Man Randy Savage. You had the Ultimate Warrior, Sergeant Slaughter. Some of these guys, Ric Flair, and Hulk Hogan was my favorite because he would come out and he just had this energy, and he's ripping off his shirt, and he's getting the crowd going, and he's ripped, and he's all like oiled up. He just looks like this, dude who is beating all these people up in the ring. And like you had mentioned earlier, Reed, kind of when you thought, oh my God, he's going to lose,
he just stands up and just shakes.
Yeah.
And you just looks at he looked at, and you knew it was coming. And then that was followed by the elbow drop, and then 1, 2, 3, and there we go.
Yeah, he just again, you've got Michael Jordan, you've got Tom Brady. We're talking about the greatest of all time in their professions, and I think you put Hulk Hogan right there with them in terms of how big of a sports icon he was.
See, when I was a kid, wrestling, and I loved it when I was a kid. I was watching it from the time I was in like 5th or 6th grade. But it was a very regional thing.
Yeah.
So you had all of these little regional networks, leagues, if you want. I don't know, whatever word you want to use. But it was a very regional thing. And Tampa I know it was a very big hub of professional wrestling back in the early days. But what Hogan helped to do was transform it into a national thing.
Yep.
Worldwide, if you will. Yeah, exactly. And he was the one that helped spearhead that.
Yeah, and you think about what he created. You have The Rock. You have, all these other figures that have come from wrestling. John Cena. They might not have had the success. That platform might not have been quite as big if not for Hulk Hogan and what he did for that industry. He just took it to the next level, like we've seen, stars in other sports do. He did the same. I think when you're thinking of, and I'm using the term athlete a little bit loosely here because it's not actual sport, but when you're thinking of the Mount Rushmore of figures, you think of Jordan, you think of Brady, you think of maybe Muhammad Ali, and I think you think of Hulk Hogan.
Sure you do, yeah.
I mean, he's right there in terms of, again, a cultural icon. And then, of course, you add in the politics. I mean, that epic, we'll play a clip a little bit later, the epic speech at the Republican National Convention. And there was controversy. He had lots of controversy in his private life, which we're also going to talk about. Not everybody was remembering him kind of the way we're talking about it right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And then he did a reality show and all that stuff.
I put out a quick video, instant reaction yesterday. You can follow us everywhere at Ryan Gorman Show when the news came down. And you said, Dana, on TikTok.
Oh, yeah. On TikTok, there were a lot of really nasty comments where people were like, I hope Trump is next, and people were like, good riddance. I mean, all of these awful comments.
Yeah, but I think, we'll talk about all of Hulk Hogan's life this morning, but I think you start with what we just discussed.
Oh, you have to.
That's what most people are
whatever else followed. I'm watching him body slam Andre the Giant right up there on the monitor. That's what happened. That was the day. But whatever else happened, you start with his persona in the ring,
exactly,
and out of the ring, and some of the interviews that he did with Mean Gene, fabulous, just fabulous. He'll be missed.
Reed Shepherd with today's top story. Reed, thanks so much.